Hey, what is going on, guys? XpertFusion here, and today I want to go over the top 5 guns, in my opinion, in the Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta so far. So, of course, just the weapons that we were able to use within Weekend 1 of the beta. Weekend 2, they will open up a few more weapons, which is going to be really damn exciting because there's some guns I really would like to use that I wasn't able to use because you weren't allowed to use them in the beta. They were locked. But there's also going to be a lot more weapons opened up when the game launches, of course. Or they even let us see some of those weapons, but we're not even going to be able to use those within the beta at all. Like, for example, the SCAR, it's completely locked. The FAL, the Kilo 141, really exciting looking guns that we're not going to be able to use until launch. But it is exciting that we will at least get to use a few more guns within the full build of the game coming pretty soon, actually. So, coming in at the number 5 spots, actually, I'll do an honorable mention real quick. Honorable mention to the MP5, which it's a pretty good gun. Not the best gun in the world, but I've had a great time with this thing. I think most people are putting it like number 1 favorite gun, but I think it definitely has some pretty low overall control. Like, it just seems really weak. I don't know, in some scenarios, but other than that, it can do pretty good damage at distances. So it can actually kill people across the map. It just takes a lot of damn shots, and it doesn't have too bad of recoil. It's just the overall control of it, like when you get to some crazy ranges, can be a little annoying. If you tap the trigger, it's not that bad though, but it's definitely an honorable mention weapon, though, of course. Coming in number 5, though, I've got the FR556, which is, of course, the FAMAS, which is locked, but you can use it because it's in with one of the default classes. So technically, it is in this beta build of the game, and we are able to use it. And it is amazing. I love this gun. I am really enjoying it. I think a lot of other people, the one major downside of this weapon that I think kind of forces it a little lower on the list is the fact that it's not very good at short distances. If you're up close and personal with the enemy, it's got really bad hip fire accuracy, and it doesn't have the fastest aim down sight time, so you might be dying. But at any decent distance, any range, it's gonna one-tap people pretty easily, and if you don't one-tap them, it'll probably just take another burst, and it's really effective at most of those distances. Even if you put it on the single select, it does even better in my opinion. So FAMAS, great gun, comes at number 5. Coming in at number 4, I've got the AUG, the SMG, which is, of course, the AUG is now an SMG in this game. This thing was unlocked for most of the beta, the whole beta, because you could use it in the default class, but recently you can actually unlock it and now customize it yourself. And being able to customize this thing has been a ton of fun. There's so many cool little attachments you can put on it, so many cool little muzzle brakes, underbarrel things, just a lot of different perks, and most of the guns have that same scenario, of course, where there's just a lot of different weapons that you can choose. And the AUG, to me, is just an all-round, it almost feels like an assault rifle in some ways. It's a very good all-round type weapon, and I think those are probably my favorite types of SMGs, the ones that can really do a lot, and you know you're gonna destroy with this weapon because of how many different sort of, I guess, gameplay styles you can play with this sort of a weapon. I don't know. I really love it, though. Therefore, the AUG comes in at the number 4th spot. Coming in number 3, I've got the MP7. The MP7 is definitely one of my favorite guns in COD history when it comes to any Call of Duty game, and the MP7 in this one is no different, man. I love this damn gun. It does have a decent amount of recoil, okay, but the high fire rate and the pretty good damage kills enemies up close pretty easily. And if you get a grip attachment on it, it can actually do some pretty good damage at distances, surprisingly, even though it's an SMG. But any close range, this gun destroys, man. I still think I like the MW3 one a little bit better, and the Black Ops 2 one. They just feel better, they sound better in my opinion. But this one, I mean, obviously I've got used to it. I played it for like a couple days, this game. But so far, I'm really enjoying the feel, the look, and the overall handling of the MP7. So it comes in at the number 3 spot. Coming in number 2, got the M13 assault rifle. This is an automatic assault rifle, which it's very similar to the M4A1, but just not as good. It doesn't have the same accuracy as the M4. It doesn't have the same damage. It doesn't have the same range potential. It's just it's not as good as the M4, and you could probably guess what's going to be number one spot. But the M13 is kind of like just a poor man's version of the M4, I guess, but it's still really damn good. If we were comparing this game to Infinite Warfare, the last IW game, I'd compare this gun to like the K-Bar, and then the M4 would be like the NV4. So the NV4 was obviously the overpowered one that was like disgustingly good and everyone used it. And then the K-Bar was like, okay, yeah, some people use it. It's definitely not as good, but it's still pretty damn good. Probably second best gun in the game. That's the same scenario here. M13 is a tank. And then, of course, coming at number one spot, you already know, is the M4A1. Assault rifles are dominant in this game. I'm going to be honest with you guys. They are dominant in this game. They are much better than the SMGs, in my opinion. They are much better because the maps are just longer ranges. There's less short distances on these maps. And even with the short distances, assault rifles do a lot just as good as them, honestly. They're not really that much worse. Now, I didn't include any shotguns, LMGs, marksman rifles, sniper rifles, just because they're just not as good as these weapons. I mean, this game so far has been pretty dominant on the assault rifle and SMG portion of it. The sniper rifle, the one that we can use, is pretty good for sniping, but you have to be a good sniper to be able to do good with it. If you're not a good sniper, you're not going to do good. But most people, even the casuals, can do pretty damn good with these weapons. None of the LMGs seem too promising. The marksman rifle is pretty trash. The shotguns are shotguns. I mean, they can't do that much. But of course, like I said, number one spot is, of course, the M4A1. This gun is just disgusting. It is the MP4 of this game. I think it's going to need a nerf. I think it's going to get a nerf. But right now, man, it's so good. I like using it because of how many kills you can get with it. It's just such a high potential of doing amazing. But I don't know, just like the MP4, I think it doesn't deserve to be that great of a weapon, is what I'm trying to say. It shouldn't be that great. And then I want to end the video with a dishonorable mention. And this isn't the worst weapon in the game, but to me it's the most disappointing weapon in the game, and that is the AK-47. I love AK-47s. I love the look of them. I love the feel of them. I love the sound of them. I even love them in all the Call of Duty games. But for some odd reason, the AK-47 in this game ain't very good. It's pretty bad. And I think it deserves a buff in some way, shape, or form because it just underperforms compared to all the other ARs. So, yeah, that's just kind of how I feel. Hopefully the other ARs are just as good. I'm sure they will be. The Kilo looks like it's probably going to be pretty good. The Scar's definitely going to be good. FAL can definitely do some damage. I'm sure it can. Odin, no idea how that's going to work. For the SMGs, I mean, you got the Uzi, the Bison, the P90. I'm excited to use all of those. And I can't wait till the full build of this game so we can try all these weapons out and possibly even more than what are featured here. Nonetheless, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys on my next one. Peace out.